Pissing our pants yet? Boy, do I have a feeling we're getting close.
Negan is perhaps the most interesting character in all of The Walking Dead, and is by far the most changed character in the show. He goes through 3 distinct transformations over its run, and as a result, this series will be broken down into 3 parts. The first episode will cover from the beginning of the apocalypse to the moment Negan meets Rick for the first time. In this video, we will witness Negan rise from a recently sacked gym teacher to the all-powerful and brutal leader of the Saviors. So, let's begin. Negan before the apocalypse is a failed man, down on hard times. He just lost his job after assaulting someone, and he and his wife are struggling to pay the bills. This scene perfectly shows us what Negan was like before the apocalypse began, and gives us a really good reference to compare him to later on.
Don't be such a pussy. This is how you get better. You gotta take it.
Are you playing with children?
Teenagers, I think, mostly.
Yeah, you should be harsh, dude.
All right, yeah, just chumpo, this is how you get better.
Please tell me that you did not spend $600 on this Happy Days bullshit.
Calm down, don't worry. I got 2 leads, one's a lock, but the other one pays better, and I am just celebrating a little early is all.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me about these 2 leads. Because you can't be a gym teacher anymore. You have a misdemeanor assault on your record, and you refuse to go back to school, so please, I would love it if you would tell me all about this job that you got that's gonna pay for this. Right. I'm returning it.
I threw the receipt away.
When he's confronted by his wife about buying the jacket, he does what's called a distancing behavior. He looks away from his wife and down to the ground. He does this as eye contact is seen as confrontational and a challenge to authority. So he's trying to signify to his wife that he's not attempting to challenge her. We're social animals, and the vast majority of our communication is done with our body language. Seeing him do this shows that he knows that his wife is right, and that he really shouldn't be buying things given their financial situation. This shows us that Negan struggles to think about the consequences despite knowing that his decision isn't right. He is impulsive. Also, he does a feigned smile here when he's trying to convince his wife that he's getting a new job and not to worry. There are 43 muscles in the face, and most are used when doing a genuine smile, particularly the muscles around the eyes. It takes the whole face to do a genuine smile. Negan barely uses his face, which suggests a feigned smile. And we actually see him do a lot of this in the series. He's using his body language to manipulate his wife into not reacting, but this fails. This is an important thing to note, as we see him do this constantly throughout the series. The next scene we'll be looking at takes place during the outbreak of the apocalypse, and his wife is suffering from cancer. He's desperately struggling to look after her and is also adjusting to the newly found responsibilities.
Trying to figure out what James Bond movie I want to watch.
Well, baby, I think we're gonna have to skip the movie just for now. Generator's making too much noise.
Hey, we're gonna have to kill it.
Why bother? All right, I turn the generator off for a little bit, and they lose interest. They always do.
When his wife says that they're going to have to kill the walker, Negan distances and looks away. Like before, we distance to not appear like a threat to someone, but also to protect ourselves. He does this here as he knows that he has to kill it, but is afraid to do so, and doesn't want to reveal that fact to his wife. He's also disagreeing with her, which could be taken as an escalation, so again he distances to avoid appearing confrontational. From this we get a sense that Negan is a cop-out. He would rather take the easy route and shies away from doing what actually needs to be done, and I think this is why he was struggling before the apocalypse. He doesn't like responsibility and just wants to do the easiest thing possible.
I see what you're feeling, replied Charlotte. You must be surprised. Very much surprised. So lately, as Mr. Collins was wishing to marry you, but when you have... Mama, this book sucks. It's killing me. I can't do it.
You're the one that won't let me watch James Bond. Read. We gotta take care of it.
Seriously?
That was our last bullet.
Hey. Are you all right?
Uh-huh. Turn the generator back on. I want to watch a movie.
Negan tenses his eyes and then his mouth when Lucille says that they have to take care of it. These are telltale signs of stress. When the defense mechanism is triggered, adrenaline is released into the bloodstream via the adrenal glands, which causes our muscles to tense up and become stronger in order to improve our chances of survival. This causes a strong urge to tense up, and we see this happen here. He half blinks and then his mouth tenses in response to the excess levels of stress. We then see Negan's inability to act nearly get him killed, and he would have likely died if Lucille hadn't stepped in and saved him. Negan is still not yet adjusted to this new world and has a long way to go to becoming the leader of the Saviors. So now Negan has been captured by a biker gang after getting the life-saving medication for his wife. He is in the most vulnerable position we've ever seen him in, and he betrays the doctor that gave him the medication in order to save his own life. This is one of the final times we see this weak version of Negan, and the events after this scene shows the biggest jump in terms of character development.
Enough! Enough! I asked you where you got the drugs, and all you've done is told me one stupid, pointless story after another. First, he wouldn't talk. Now, I'm begging you to shut up. The story time is over, bitch. Now, either you tell me where you got him, or I pull this trigger and your wife dies thinking you ran out on her. I'm not even gonna count. If you don't start talking by the time I stop, I swear to God.
Wait. Just bring me my map. Bring me my map.
Negan distances by closing his eyes when the biker leader points his gun at him. This is exactly the same as before. He's doing this to give off totally submissive body language to appear non-threatening, as to improve his chances of survival. He then distances further by looking at the floor when he says to bring him his map. This distancing behavior is far stronger than before, and I believe that that's because he knows that he's about to betray the people who just helped him out so much. That causes him more stress than actually having his life threatened. This tells us a lot about Negan. He cares and wants to do the right thing and feels very bad for betraying those who have helped him so much. He's not a bad guy and has the ability to express morality.
What about security?
Security is light. It is a guy and his daughter. Guards on top of the RVs. They're decoys. There could be a couple others, and they have no guns.
And if they're not there for literally any reason, I'm gonna come back here and kill you. No questions asked. Lock him in the storage room.
You can see Negan again distances here, but he also shows signs of the Glover sensation. He swallows, which is due to the defense mechanism being triggered. As I said before, when it gets triggered, adrenaline is released into the bloodstream via the adrenal glands, as well as a bunch of other chemicals. This causes muscle tension, which causes what's known as the Glover sensation or response. What this is when the muscles in the throat tense up, causing a strong urge to swallow due to the effects of the high levels of stress. You see him do this here, showing that he's experiencing an extreme level of stress when being threatened and also being forced to betray the Doctor. From this scene, we get the impression that Negan is a good man and feels highly uncomfortable betraying the people who have helped him. He isn't a sociopath like the Governor and is well aware of what is right and wrong. This situation has forced his hand and is the sole reason why he becomes the Negan we all know. He's being forced to do a very bad thing in betraying the Doctor, and he can either run away and avoid responsibility, as he seems to do frequently in the pre-apocalyptic world, or he can take action. This is the single scene where I think Negan becomes the Negan we all know, his turning point. After coming home from betraying those who have helped him and having his life threatened by the gang leader, he realized that everything he desperately tried to do was all in vain.
Lucille? Lucille?
When Negan approaches the door and reads what his wife has left for him, he exhales strongly. This is again the defense mechanism in action. When experiencing something that's stressful, the brain tries to protect itself and causes us to exhale like this in order to remove as much carbon dioxide from the bloodstream as possible, allowing the intake of oxygen, which can be used to power the muscles. It also assists in calming us down and acts as a way of releasing muscle tension. It's clear that the realization realization of what his wife has done causes him a huge amount of stress. It's amazing to see just how fast the defense mechanism responds. And remember, the brain considers emotional stress as an immediate threat to life and triggers the defense mechanism regardless of whether or not the threat is physical. Negan does numerous distancing behaviors here in response to the traumatic sights that he's seeing. Crying is heavily influenced by the autonomic nervous system, which controls the involuntary side of body language. As we've discussed before, when the sympathetic nervous system or defense mechanism gets triggered, it increases muscle tension, and crying contributes to this, which is why you see his face tense up massively here. This is really the turning point for Negan. This is what sends him over the edge and adapts him to the realities of the new world. From this moment on, he decides to do things his way and no longer plays the coward. So this is the first time we see Negan as Negan. He has lost everything. He has nothing left to lose, and he's been wronged. Instead of running away and cowering, he's determined to do the exact opposite. And this scene really gives us an idea of just how much Negan's character has shifted. The events in this episode spawned one of the most badass characters in the entirety of The Walking Dead.
Look at us. Here we are again. You know, last time we did this, you said that I talk too much. Bad news is, I got some stuff to get off my chest this time as well. But see, this time you best hope I never stop talking. Because when I do, something very terrible is gonna happen to you. You know, I never killed a man before tonight. It's the truth. Came close once. See, there was this bar my wife and I used to go to. It was our favorite bar. It was our favorite bar because it had our favorite jukebox. Favorite jukebox because, well, it had our favorite song. You Are So Beautiful by the one and only Joe Cocker. Probably the greatest love ballad ever written. I'm sure you agree. But see, there was this guy. He had one of those voices you can't unhear. You know, it was like my brain had been hijacked and I can't think anymore. Anyway, he is talking and laughing while the song is playing, being completely obnoxious. So my beautiful wife, Lucille, she gets up, goes over to where he is, and politely asks him if he could keep it down so she could hear her song. Let's just say he chose poorly.
So again, we see Negan's fake smile here. Right at the start, he feigns a smile, and you can see that he instantly drops it as he starts looking down at his bat, showing that his conscious was pretending. The conscious is very, very bad at mimicking genuine emotions. He also tenses his mouth in the exact moment, which is again the defense mechanism in action. Anger can actually trigger the defense mechanism, as anger is simply a manifestation of stress just pertaining to a specific emotion. Despite his smiles and calm speech, he is filled with rage. When talking about coming close to killing someone before, he distances and looks at the bat, practically holding his eyes shut. The memory of what he did causes him discomfort, and he looks away as a way to protect himself. Distancing behaviors can be caused by a number of things.
So now I gotta get up. And I go over and I tell him that he owes me 50 cents. So I can play the song again, and he can shut the hell up, and my wife can enjoy her song. Now here's the important part. I really want you to pay attention to this. You know when people get so angry they say they see red? That shit is actually true. When this asshole comes at me, all I see is red. It's like I am looking at the world through blood. So I wail on him. I wail on this son of a bitch until he's not moving. And then I reach down, I grab his wallet, and I take out $1. And I play our song again. Twice. Turns out that this prick has kids that go to the school that I teach gym at. Needless to say, the school is unthrilled. I get fired, this guy sues me, I don't have a job, so now my wife has to pay his medical bills. So the point of this is, there were consequences to me seeing red. Seeing red was a bad thing then. I was a bad man. Then. But see, now, nobody's suing anybody. Nobody's getting fired. Hell, nobody's keeping score. Now, when I see red, it's just a question of what I am capable of. And well, man, I hate to break it to you. See, I am starting to think that I am capable of damn near anything. So this is for not killing me.
Negan summarizes himself perfectly here. This cowardly and risk-averse Negan we saw before was, I think, Negan holding himself back. In reality, this is what he has always been. He is principled and capable of ruthlessly defending himself and those he wishes to protect, but fails to account for the overall consequences of his actions. He makes one mistake here though. Just because the world has changed, there are still consequences, and we will see Negan being taught those lessons in full in the next episode. Before killing the gang leader, he distances and sighs, which is a reaction to the fact that he has to kill the guy. If he lets him go, he's just going to be another threat to him. That sigh and distancing behavior is caused by the stress of having to commit an immoral act, which again shows us clearly that Negan is not a psychopath or sociopath. He is well in tune with his emotions and morality. Compare this to the Rick who ruthlessly murders a bunch of saviors in the outpost without a nanosecond of hesitation. The final scene in this video will be the infamous Negan introduction scene, where we first see this terrifying character. This is absolutely terrifying, and the first time watching it, you really don't know what to make of the guy. He's charismatic, charming, but at the same time capable of doing some horrific things. Because of this persona that he puts on, you can never really tell what he's going to do next. So let's take a look.
Get the other one. Right now. Dwight!
Yeah.
Chop. Come on. We got people to meet.
Maggie?
On your knees. All right. We got a full boat. Let's meet the man.
pissing our pants yet? Boy, do I have a feeling we're getting close. Gonna be pee-pee pants city here real soon. Which one of you pricks is the leader?
Negan is making excessive eye contact with everyone here, and is also faking a smile like before. Everything that he's doing here is for show. He's parading in front of them with his baseball bat, trying to intimidate them into submission. And it's working on so many members of the group. The reason for this excessive eye contact that he's doing is that he's trying to build rapport. What this means is that he's trying to understand how the others feel toward him. This may sound strange, but it makes perfect sense. He's trying to understand who's intimidated by him and will thus fall in line and be easier to control in the future, or who is willing to challenge him and make eye contact back. He's deciding which one of Rick's group is the best person to kill and make the rest fall in line. And I think we can all guess which one that is. Again, it's Negan being moral. He doesn't want to unnecessarily kill someone. He's being pragmatic. Look at Negan's eyes and ignore his face. He's making a cold and calculated decision despite the facade.
Guess what? He's the guy.
Hi. You're Rick, right? I'm Negan. And I do not appreciate you killing my men. Also, when I sent my people to kill your people for killing my people, you killed more of my people. Not cool. Not cool. You have no idea how not cool that shit is. But I think you're gonna be up to speed shortly. You are so gonna regret crossing me in a few minutes. Yes, you are. You see, Rick, whatever you do, no matter what, you don't mess with the New World Order. New World Order is this, and it's really very simple. So even if you're stupid, which you very may well be, you can understand it. You ready? Here goes. Pay attention. Give me your shit, or I will kill you. Today was career day.
Notice how his head is tilted to the right. This is a method of sound localization which indicates an incredibly high level of alertness. By tilting the head, it gives the brain an extra axis by which to measure the delay in sound entering the ears, thus allowing a more precise sense of direction. It's a primitive instinct, but really does help us identify accurately where the source of the sound is coming from. But this body language shows us that Negan is paying full attention and that he's laser focused on what's going on. Rick is also doing this here. Negan is playing a game of intimidation, which is what the whole point of this situation is. The bright lights, the numerous people surrounding them, and the baseball bat are all part of an act to get Rick to submit and fall in line. It's a total act that Negan's putting on. Negan has evolved as a character so much over the course of this show, but he never gained any trait that wasn't already there in the first place. In his confession to the biker gang leader, he feels he's capable of anything, and the lack of consequence means that he is now unstoppable. The death of his wife released this side of him, but it didn't create anything that wasn't already there. The apocalypse has allowed Negan to thrive, but he's ignorant. The new world order in which they are living has consequences and repercussions, just in a different sort of way, and Negan will find this out soon enough. So thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.